United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tim, would you pray?
Father, in the name of Jesus, God, we thank you, God, for the opportunity to come together, God, for the benefit of our future in the community, Lord. Father, we ask that you bless our great country, Lord. God, bless the food, Lord. Let it be nourishing to our body. Take all her harm today, God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, Rotary, the second verse. Everybody think a little bit. R-O-T-A-R-Y,
that spells Rotary. R-O-T-A-R-Y is one great family, where friendship bonds for bands uplift, where each one strives his best to give. R-O-T-A-R-Y, that spells Rotary.
We're going to have to work on that.
Sergeant Renard, you're up. I'll try to scream louder next time.
All right. Remember we had so much fun last week? Rotary question of the day. Today's question is, how much money did Arch Plump, remember I asked you about him last week, start the Rotary Foundation with after the Rotary's first convention? Speak up. $26.50. All right, that's $26.50. You two are good.
We're a team.
Are you?
I got 26.
So the combined answer is $26.50. That's correct. Now, I'm going to give you a little chance to research this week. Next week's question is going to be, hi, that's better. Who was the Rotarian that wrote the four-way test? Now, that's for next week. You can research it. It's in the comic strip, so you should be able to find it. Rotary best friend. We can't miss that, can we? Can we? Who's here? Who's here? Who hasn't reported? Well, Penny did a fine job. John did a fine job. Matt Martin, you have not reported on Rotary best friend.
All right, my Rotary BFF is Amanda Dickey. Amanda, I've known her since high school, actually before high school. She's married to Brian Dickey. They've got they don't have any kids, but they've got a dog that basically is her kid. So,
What's the dog's name, Matt?
I can't remember the dog's name.
I know, it has several.
Depending on the time of day. Okay.
Not repeatable.
If her daddy's talking to her, no.
Amanda works for First Community Insurance, and she's been there for about 8 years, 5 years, okay. She's been a Rotarian for about 8 years, 9 years. So her dad, the reason she's a Rotarian is because she was invited to the club by her dad.
Right.
And then he quit.
Then he quit.
Sad day.
He just took a long leave of absence. We hope he'll be back someday. Anything else you want to say?
That's it.
And she's my agent at First Community. We're a team of that.
Our team of lots of people in here, I like it.
All right. So, there was a man whose wife had a cat, and the cat hated him. I mean, you know, he'd come in and he'd bite him, he'd scratch him. So he thought, I want to get rid of this cat. So he put the cat in the car and he drove 10 blocks and he tossed the cat out the window. Got back to the house, the cat was sitting on the front porch licking its paws. Well, okay. Next day he said, I've got to get rid of that cat. So he put the cat in the car And he drove 20 blocks from the house. That's a long way. Put the cat out the window, got back to the house, pulled in the driveway, and there sat the cat licking his paws. He said, I've got to do something about this cat. I know what I'm going to do. So next day, he put the cat in the car, and he drove 20 miles. And he took a right, took a left, he drove 5 miles to the left, and then 5 to the right. Got that cat 20 miles away from the house. All of a sudden, he realized he hadn't paid much attention to where he was, and he was lost. He called his wife, said, "Hon, I'm out here, and I don't know where. I'm lost." He said, "Is the cat on the front porch?" "Yes." "Put it on the phone. I need to know how to get home." Boo! Boo! That must be an animal lover.
Secretary's report. Miss Amanda.
I show that we have 30 Rotarians here today, which that's really good, y'all. And we have a couple of guests. Gina is still with us, and I see Tony McGuffey back there from the Guard. And we have a couple of high school students. If y'all don't mind to stand up and introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Mallory McClure. I'm in 11th grade. I'm a student council.
I'm Jake Ward. I'm also in 11th grade and student council.
Great, thank you. And then I'm still looking for a program chair for the month of March. So if you can help me out with programs in March, please let me know. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Amanda. On the service chair report, I'm going to have to add something before I let Brenda talk. We had the trash pickup yesterday, thanks to everybody who came. We had Brenda and then Kurt and Laura and Donna Cole and myself, and they did a great job. And we made some rules. I think Brenda came up with most of these, but one of them, if it looks like a feather, don't pick it up. So if it's white, to me, it looked close enough to a feather.
Don't pick it up.
If it's smaller than 1 inch, you don't pick it up. I made that rule. And then if it's further than 40 feet off the highway, you don't mess with it. So, but we did a good job anyway. I ventured further than 40 feet off. But everybody did a great job. But we did have one rule we stuck with, and that was if once you got your 4 bags full, you were done. It was messier than it ever been, and so we made it down 2 hogs. But it was pretty nasty. They had mowed and stuff was scattered everywhere, so we may have to schedule another day. But anyway, thanks to those of you that came. And Brenda or Deanna, do you have anything to add?
Well, I just want to point out that the highway cleanup, the state highway would like for us to do it 4 times a year. This time we did it 3 times, and that's primarily because of the weather. Sometimes the weather is just so bad that you can't get out there and do that. And we do this because Kelly Wise, and I think on this end of the highway too, we have signs that say that this mile is maintained by the Batesville Rotary Club, and that's part of our commitment or obligation. And I just appreciate anybody when they come out and do work on it, because it helps us get some type of visibility there on the signs coming down that way.
Thank you, Brenda.
Can I say something about
Sure.
it? Yesterday was my first time participating in the highway cleanup, and it really opened my eyes to how messy we are when we throw out the side of our car windows as we drive by. It's really, if you haven't done it, it's something to do just to see. It was surprising. And we ran out of bags. We stopped short because we ran out of bags after an hour and a half. So there's a lot more to do.
So we went down to the businesses, and we figured they'd pick up their own at that point. But we had picked up a lot of trash, so hopefully it won't be quite as last time. It wasn't bad at all. This time it was pretty messy. Treasurer's report, Ken.
No report.
No report at this time. We did get our grant money in for the Coats for Kids and the dictionaries. So the dictionary money's already spent. I ordered those last week before the money got here. So and then Brenda's going to be getting our Coats for Kids, and we're on the road with that. So thank you. All right, thanks, Deanna. I think you were the greeter for today, and then next week is Phil Hacker. Next week's meeting will be Rick Ellenbaugh, the mayor, so be here for that. Matt, if you're ready, we will introduce today's speaker.
Okay. All right, well, for us this week, and Renee's on vacation this week, so I'll have to return the favor sometime. But the speaker today is here to talk to us about child care awareness, or aware of Arkansas. I don't have a bio on her, so I'm just going to introduce her and let her talk to you, Debbie Webb. Thanks, Debbie.
I will say there's a gentleman in the room here that actually hired me at White River Planning and Development. Can I take this off because I don't want to sign it from this? There we go. And that's more years ago than any of us probably care to mention. I'll just say if I had been in the military, I could have retired twice by now. So I have been with with White River Planning and for many years now, and one of the programs that we have at White River Planning and Development is Child Care Aware North Central Arkansas. I think the last couple of times I've talked to you about the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, which is my volunteer hat that I wear with United Way, but today I was going to talk to you a little bit more about Child Care Aware and tell you some of the things that we are doing, and a little bit about our name change, and kind of give you a little bit of history and update. Thanks, Kathy, for being my button here, my clicker. I call it my clicker. I don't have my clicker or my pointer. So anyway, so if you'll go ahead. We started the program in May of 1997. Nelson Barnett was at the chamber. I know he remembers it well. A lot of different groups were involved in it. And so this is our mission statement and tells a little bit about what we're doing. We've revised that over the years, and so this is the one that we're going with now. A little bit of a history. We started out, our name was Children of North Central Arkansas, and Children kind of summed up what we were all about. It stood for Child Care Hub for information, learning, development, resources, education, and networking. And yeah, Penny's like, you remember that? I've got staff to say, I still don't know that. I didn't know that. But we thought, I really hated to get rid of that, but on the national level, NACRA, which is the National Association of Child Care Resource and Referral Agencies, took one out of United Way's playbook, and they become Child Care Aware of America. At the time, there were around 750 regional child care resource and referral agencies, which is what we are, and we cover 14 counties, which we'll look at in just a little bit. But they tested, Missouri and Kansas tested out the name, and whenever Arkansas became completely, all 75 counties are now covered. Back in July of 2012, we took on the name Child Care Aware of North Central Arkansas because it's branded, and the idea is that people can move from one part of the state to the other and know who to call, or maybe one state from the other and know who to call, so there's not 750 regional facilities out there with that many different names, and that's kind of how it was before we went that direction. We'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary next May, and Ms. Frazier will be out at UACCB to do that. We have several fun things planned for children and families and child care facilities in the community as well. So I remember our boss said he didn't think this program would last more than a few years, and here we are 20 years later, and we're the biggest department within White River Planning and Development District. We have 6 employees, and now we cover 14 different counties. Okay. And we were selected back in 1997 as a successful public-private partnership in rural areas. And these are the counties it's a little bit bumpy up there, but these are the counties we serve now. We started out with Independence, branched in to 7 counties surrounding, and then in July of 2012, we were asked by the Division of Child Care to take on some additional counties. 3 of them being pretty big: White County, Faulkner County with Conway, and Baxter County are the 3 biggest ones. And until then, Independence was the biggest one we served. But we also have a satellite office now in Conway to serve Faulkner County, which is obviously our biggest county. Okay. Now, if you want to there'll be several things come up here. With we've kind of become training central. We work with child care facilities, and every single child care facility in those 14 counties is in our database. So we have more information on them than has ever been available before, and we've used that to help many communities apply for and receive money to build child care facilities, because we do have information about vacancies and capacities and things of that nature. But a lot of what we do now has to do with raising the bar, which was our original charge, and helping to increase the quality and accessibility and availability of child care. So these are some of the programs that we're involved in. We do a training called Ages and Stages. It's an early intervention program. It helps spot things like autism, maybe speech therapy needs, things like that in young children. We kind of target birth to 3 because early intervention makes a really big difference. NAPSAC is our nutrition and physical self-assessment program that we do provide training on. And then we have some infant and toddler expansion sub-grants from the Division of Child Care. We provide a lot of business management training and technical assistance and consulting, especially for programs struggling or having problems. We try to keep them from going out of business. So we do a lot of in-depth on that. Statewide coordination of family child care business management. We've been asked by the division to, we're managing 3 different programs with our sister R&Rs on the national, or I mean on the statewide basis. So we're really proud that they put that kind of faith in us. We're also providing training on how to use adventures in learning, connecting literature and math, and there's a new curriculum called Connecting with Infants. And if I can point your attention to the back table, this is an example of curriculum kits. The division has made it possible, the Division of Child Care at the state level, for there to be an approved curriculum. Many of you have this particular Better Beginnings. Have any of you ever heard of this before? This is the state's quality improvement and rating scale in Better Beginnings. And so we have worked really, really hard with all the facilities to get them into this quality program. So one of the challenges was you didn't want to create the demand when there wasn't the supply. So we've been working really hard for the last probably 4 to 5 years to get more and more facilities to participate in this and in that particular program. One of the things that's required in that is that you have to have an approved curriculum. And the division would say, okay, we have this approved curriculum and it's free. And it's in a notebook about yay thick, but none of the things that are needed are in that. So when we started seeing what all was needed to have that curriculum and actually trying to put that together, Adventures in Learning come to about $1,800 for the Adventures in Learning for toddlers and for the preschoolers. Now we have school districts that are using this now. Thanks to several different donors, we have sets of these that are in our library. We have a resource center and lending library, and we go out in Independence County to every facility in the county, thanks to the school districts, and we partner with the Batesville School District, and so we deliver resources from our resource center and lending library. So that's some of the things that are on the back. We have another one called Connecting Literature and Math, and just in September, the division had a contractor come out with Connecting with Infants. And I'm going to share some things with you to let you know just how important it is for us to have, for infants especially, to have those really high quality, positive early learning experiences. Okay, Kathy, sorry. These are some more of the things. It's just kind of some pictures of some of the training and some of the kits and things that the child care facilities that participate with us in this training get from the division. And then disaster preparedness is another thing that we're involved in. You know, we're kind of Tornado Alley here in Arkansas. And so Arkansas was selected along with Missouri to be a pilot project, but with Save the Children, which is a national organization. And we just wrapped that up, and we could kind of see the end of that coming, but there was still such a need, and so we're very happy that United Way has given us some additional funding this year to continue providing this training. And if you'll, yes. All that attended get these particular workbooks, and they go back and they come into the room thinking, okay, I'm here for training, and in many cases hours, but when they leave, there's just kind of a jaw drop, you know, eyes are open because they haven't thought about earthquakes. They've got tornadoes and fire down. They haven't thought about a chemical spill. We have highways and railways, things like that can happen. Look at what happened in Mayflower, even under the ground. I mean, we've had several things happen. And child care facilities, thank God, are really haven't been on the radar of the intruder situation like the school districts and the colleges have. So we talk about the intruder situation, and they deal sometimes with disgruntled parents. So they're a very soft target for that. So we talk to them about ways that they can protect themselves and the staff and the children as well. So we go into national best practices. And so when they leave, they have a charge to go back, plus they have a tool to go back and really have a good comprehensive disaster plan. When Katrina happened, did anybody want to wager a guess as to how long it was when the last child was reunited with its mother? About how long it took? Just pop out something.
7 years.
7 years? 2 weeks. You got the 7 right, but it was 7 months. So can you imagine a child being separated from its mother that long? So we tell them, put a Sharpie, write the child's name if you have to, put that in your kit, and then write the child's name and a phone number on their stomach or something, but we give them ways and things to do that. So very important that they have a reunification plan and the parents know where they're going if they have to evacuate. And here's some other programs that we have. This is, we opened the Child Care Resource Center in Batesville, and it's in the White River Regional Services Center. We're at the White River Planning Offices. We have over 20,000 items now in that lending library. And UACCB, all the school districts, we have 13 partners that have made all this possible, including United Way. We have over 4,000 items now, and we're a United Way agency in the Conway area. So that one is really growing. But one of the big things that we are seeing utilized a lot is this particular curriculum. So we'll have some pictures now. Push that little button for me. Okay, just go ahead and go through that. This is something that the parents get. Okay, this was our ribbon cutting in Conway. Move on. And this is when we first started. And then this is after. We've been there for a little bit. And so I think now we'll have some, okay, if you'll go through those, this is all in the Conway office. If you'll go through those pretty quickly, I'll get you to the Batesville Resource Center. Okay, and then one more time. And these are what if you'll back up just a second, Kathy. These are the curriculum kits that we have, and several, Representative Sturr and Senator Colin Smith have helped us with some of these, as has United Way, and we've been able to purchase some of these so that the different facilities could use them. It was kind of like a light bulb went off when we went to the division and said, you're promoting this free curriculum, but look, this is what it takes to do this. So anyway, they have put some money into this as well, and to help us to be able to have the curriculum. And we had more demand than we had supply, so that's why we have gone to asking from different resources or from different sources and different funding sources. Right now, we don't have anything for the infants, so it just come out, and that's something we have had some pilot projects that were started by the Cleburne County Rotary, and so because we can't have a resource center in every single county in 14 counties, so we started what we now call a very successful pilot. So we're working with the Cleburne County Library. That Rotary Club has funded Adventures in Learning and Connecting Literature and Math, and now they're looking at doing the Connecting with Infants. And so we're working with Baxter County Library, the Stone County Library, and the library in Sharp County also. So we can have these curriculum kits in the areas where the providers need them, and also the new Van Buren County Library. So, okay. These are just some of the shots and some of the different things we have in the topic bags, things that we have in the Resource Center. Okay, now here's some information, just one more click, Kathy. This tells a little bit about Better Beginnings and the fact that there's right now 3 levels. There will eventually be 5 levels, kind of like the 5-star hotel, the 5-star restaurants, things of that nature. And that's how there'll be a few clicks on this. This is how it looks in Independence County right now. I think there's one more click. Okay. We have 25 child care facilities that are licensed. Once upon a time, we had nearly 40, that we had a lot of family child care homes. Now we're down to 2 family child care homes. We have some faith-based entities, many school-based entities that are licensed for a large number of children for Head Start programs, and then the medical needs, which are the child has to be qualified in order to be there or have a specific medical need. Now, Independence County is a lot better off in these statistics than we are. I made the same presentation in White County last week, and they have about 29% license capacity for the population. If you can see here, the population from birth to 13 is roughly 5,500 children, according to the estimates, and we have about 2,700 capacities or slots. So that's actually pretty good. But when we think about it, mothers of birth to 5-year-old children, about 60% of them are in the workplace. And when you're talking about school children, it goes up to 75%. So it's like, where are these other kiddos? They're in probably sometimes family care, sometimes underground care, some unregulated care, and the folks do not have access to some of the things I'm going to show you here in just a minute. I'll tell you why we do what we do. This is one more clip, Kathy. This is where we are in Independence County right now. We've got 15 out of the 25 that are in the Better Beginnings program. All 10, or the 40% that are at the highest level, are all publicly funded. They're either Head Starts or ABC programs, which is Arkansas Better Chance. Okay. Next one. One more. Okay, I've already mentioned that to you. Okay, this is why we're passionate about what we do and why we know what we do makes a difference. Because when a baby is born, they have over 1 billion brain cells called neurons. So think of these like little light bulbs, but they're little light bulbs that haven't gone off yet. So children need these really, really good, positive, their needs met. They need those kinds of experiences for these to continue to develop. At birth, an infant has 700 neurons created every second. Every second. Okay? Now, this is the human brain at birth, and this is how United Way kind of got me involved in the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, because it makes such a big difference. So at birth, the baby starts out, and so we're at the beginning of building the architecture for the brain. And the brain at birth is in a remarkably unfinished state, and what we have to do as adults is to reinforce those connections and help those to be positive experiences. If they're not positive experiences, what we compare this to is, especially for educators, if we have any educators in here, how many of you remember dial-up on the internet? Okay, remember how slow that was? Okay, if a children doesn't have positive experiences, when they go to school, they're learning at the dial-up rate. But we want them to have a well-developed brain, and we want them to have positive experiences and those needs met and all their developmental needs met, and that way they can go to school and learn at the high-speed rate. And that's kind of the best analogy that we can come up with how important this is. The next one, Kathy. This is a study. When you look at what goes on in the brain, in the human development, the child's intellect, social skills, and their personality, 85% of that happens in that pink area, that pink square. That's the first year of life. So that is important, and we're not really investing early as much as we should be, because that's when all this happens, and that's when these positive things happen. Here's my next one, which is a wow factor. If a baby's body grew as fast as his brain, at 1 month of age, he would weigh 170 pounds.